More so when we have Ugandans. We usually say the sleeping giants of Africa have arrived to Kenya. Now you are already overtaken by others, and you people, you have been leading. Now other people have taken over you, but we shall tell you the reasons, okay? So, so pertaining to our study tonight, what we shall actually start with, because all of you know cows, isn't it? And I want all of us to concentrate. Let us switch off our phones so that now we can be able now to concentrate. We are writing our notes. No problem. The most important thing in this course, because all of you now are learning, it is just to know why your animals are not producing milk. Okay? I know you have been around Kenya. You have seen, maybe, have you taken them to any farm which is producing 40 liters, 50 liters?
Yes.
Now, I would want you to take them to another better farm, which is doing 60, 70, up to 80. Okay? And there is no miracle. The science is very easy. There is no rocket science. It is just practicability. That's why I'm saying all what you know, please, let us remove that in our head now, and we usher in something new that will change you. As you have all said, it is the mindset change, so that now you can be able to change Uganda. If Uganda wake up, the whole Africa will wake up. Otherwise, because now Uganda is very asleep, and in dreamland, the whole Africa is resting, okay? But there is one African country which is coming up very fast. You have been hearing of cows producing a lot of milk. One, any cow in Kenya that you have seen and it is producing a lot of milk, you should only know three things. What do we feed our cow? What is our management? Okay? And lastly, how do we interact with that cow? Those are the only three things. So the first one, what do we feed our cow? Our greatest portion or ration that we feed our cows with, we buy it from Uganda. Okay? Uganda is the only country in Africa which is giving out almost free raw materials for making best and better rations.
Come again?
I'm saying Uganda is the only African country which is giving out raw materials almost free. Your materials are all over the world, but your people are sleeping. Why am I saying that? Kenya will import from your country. We come and make our own ration here. Your materials we shall import from your country, and we shall ship it elsewhere. Like Qatar is doing a lot of animal feeds. These Jeddah, you know those areas, those desert areas. Jeddah.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia. They have the best and biggest farms in the world. And they are taking our raw materials without our knowledge. They are not stealing from us. They are buying from us. And since our brothers in Uganda are asleep, you should not wake up sleeping. No. Okay. I've not said that. It is you. I've said giants. Okay? Now, there are only 10 reasons that make our animals not produce milk. The first reason that make our animal not to produce milk is what?
Pasta.
Sleeping giants. You make your animal not produce milk is what we call hygiene. So all of you know hygiene. We usually say cleanliness is second to godliness. Now, if you have a cow and it is worth so much, we usually hear 8 million, 9 million, okay? Plus that value. If you are being told that there are thieves that will come to your home and get your money, can you take that money and hide it under the manure?
No.
You cannot. Why? Because that money will lose value, isn't it? Now, this is a typical farmer in Uganda who has a cow worth so much, but the cow has a lot of dirt. Where? You can see all legs have socks full of mud. Okay? The whole stomach has a lot of mud. It is only the udder, whereby you can see the teats have been milked. Okay? And you expect that cow to produce milk. That cow won't produce milk. What you will do, you will make your vet leech. Because that mud, that dirt, that wetness is where bacteria grow or thrive better, okay? So you'll be dealing with a lot of problems. Mastitis. Of course, you know mastitis is not a disease. It's a condition brought by. So it's not a disease. But now it is becoming a disease because we have not been able to manage hygiene, okay? Other issues like foul in the foot. Have you ever seen an animal limping? And when you wash it inside the clothes, you see something boiled or something swollen. That is what we call foul in the foot. At times, we even have what we call foot rot. We can as well contract our animals to get what we call pneumonia. Our animals can have a lot of skin problems like pistules, okay, scabs and such. So who have brought all these problems? It is the farmer. And the same farmer is complaining. So we have to make our hygiene better. Why have I said hygiene is our first reason? Because we usually say for an animal to produce milk, that is what we call APP, animal production potential. Okay? It is equal to two things. Number one, genetic makeup, which is only 20%, plus management. Management, which is 80%. In management, we divide that into two. There is what we call environment, which contribute to 20%. And there is what we call 60% the nutrition. Nutrition, that is where Uganda is coming in. Because Uganda has a lot of, you call that kasore? Yes. It is very rich in what we want. Okay? It is very rich in calcium, it is very rich in phosphorus and other proteins, okay? Plus some all other things that we usually take. Why am I saying that an animal might produce that lot of milk? We usually say only that if you feed your animal with succulent, do you see anything green? Like hay, napier grass, succulents, yeah? Anything succulent. If you feed your animal with anything succulent, which is 70 kilos, your animal will use a lot of energy to burn that water inside that plant. Because that water, it is already called complex water. That water is not readily available to any animal. So what happens? Your animal will be soiling loose feces. It will be frequent urination, okay? Your animal will make its hair stand as if it is trapping weed to make the water which is inside evaporate from the body. And now you will be complaining that your animal has worms. So now you are doing misdiagnosis and it is you who fed your animal with bad thing. So what do? If we are here in Kenya and so many farms that you will go around, you will realize that we feed our animal once. Those farmers who are paramount, they feed their animals once. But we milk our animal 3 times. We sweep clean that place where that animal sleep like 3 times. Remember, Uganda, it is the only country, apart from supplying what we call raw materials, it is also supplying cheap labor. That is why all farms that you will go around, you will see we are employing Ugandans. Why? They are cheap. And they will concentrate. And they are easy to teach. They understand. So hygiene is the first reason. Okay? You got that clear, right? Number 2. The second reason that will make your animal not produce milk is the type of roughage given to that animal. Type of roughage. What we usually say, for an animal to be full, we should give that animal 65% of dry matter. Okay? I'm saying, let's assume it's 100. And in 100%, we usually say we feed our animal with 65% dry matter, okay? Or green matter, whatever you call it. That is laffage. It's a filler material. Like some will give bomalods. That is what you call murato in your country, isn't it? Other will give all other types of glasses. 65%. Then the grains. What we call grains is the concentrates from your country. The casole, we come and ration. We shall show you how we do that, okay? It should be 10%. That is 75%. Then on that animal, we have 15% water. Because water is part of nutrition, okay? And water is part of food. And then we have 10%, which is something that is inside the stomach of a cow. Because for it to survive, it has to maintain three things: maintenance, production if it is producing milk, and reproduction if it is in calf or it is expecting to come on heat and get served. So whatever you feed your animal matters most. That is why you hear in Kenya, once our Napier grass, the pak chong, whatever you call it, the moment we let it grow very tall. Have you seen that?
Yes.
At around 8,
Even 15.
I don't want you to tell them that. Because 15 it's when we want seeds, but it is usually 8 to 12 feet. Okay? Now, then after we cut that Napier grass, we don't want to do hard work. We work smart. Hard work, we left that for a tractor, which is much more versatile, and a donkey. So our worker will come and cut the whole piece of land. And when I say a piece of land, I'm actually shocked because I've engaged one gentleman already and I'm already shocked. The farms you will go and see around here, if you get any person with more than 1 acre, that is a rich person. 1 acre. You don't even qualify to talk when others are talking. But you will get somebody with 1/4 acre, 50 by 100. Have you seen that? Yes. Very small portions of land. That is what we have managed. So our workers cut all that. The moment we cut it, we let it rest there for at least 2 weeks. Why do we make it rest? Because if we carry the same Napier grass to our store, we are feeding our animals with unpalatable or something that is not readily helpful to that animal. What do I mean? If I bring 70 road, you see a 70 kg road, if I let that same road rest in that area for at least 1 to 2 weeks, the same road will be around 15 kilos. So, or even 20. Let's go to the highest side there, 20 kilos. The rest have been lost. That water which was inside the plant, which was making that plant heavier, we have already done with it. What have we done to our animal? We have lessened the work of our cow. So when we take that, we come and chop. Have you seen all of us have chaff cutters? Mm. Yes, we get them from India, Pakistan, and such countries. Okay? The moment we come and chop, we feed our cow on merit. Why do I say merit? A cow which is not producing, or a cow which is producing less than 20-25 liters, you cannot break even. Now the bar is a little bit higher now. Nowadays you will hear farmers telling you, if my cow is not doing 30 liters, I should do away with that cow because I will be making loss. Okay? So we come and chop that. The moment we chop that laffage, we feed our cow only 2 buckets. 2 buckets. Have you shown them the bucket?
Yes.
2 buckets. Then, yeah?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Bucket of how many liters?
A bucket, if you are taking in water or anything liquid, it can take in like 17 to 20 kilos. But if you are taking anything dry, it should be 4.5 to 5.5 kilos. Something that you can hold this way. So just 2 buckets. Then we give our cow 1 cup of salt. Here in Kenya, although we shall get to that, we ration our own mineral salts. Why are we doing that? Because we realized that no company which is ready for a farmer to get success, they are only there maybe to make some. But since we don't want to go shortcut, we ration our own mineral supplements. And I'm very, very sure those supplements are reaching your country as well, okay? So we give that one cow 1 cup, all right? Then from there, we take 2 liters of molasses. You know molasses? And the best molasses is the one from, because it is good, it is,
the sleeping giant.
yes. Because it is not diluted. So people from your area, the Kakili and wherever, they sell us the molasses. So we come and take 2 liters of molasses plus 20 liters of water. You get that? Then we add something else. That something else is what we call the dairy meal. When you see here in a farmer telling you of a dairy meal, it is our homemade ration. What is homemade ration? We take kasore from your country, we take wheat bran, we take Poland, we take maize cake, all bread clumps. I shall explain to you that. I just want you to hear that. Then we give that animal. If our animal is doing 20 plus liters, we give her not less than 8 kilos to 10 kilos of unga, all that daily meal per day, okay? Then we add on top of where we had added the mineral salt. Remember we first of all put laffage, mineral salt. Now we are in the kasole or kaunga. Let us call it that way, okay? Then on top of that, we add that dissolved liquid now. Then we mix everything. That is what we call TMR, total mixed ration. Now, if you feed that cow that way, you have forced that cow to eat everything. It is not selecting. Because if you feed your cow laffage here, mineral salt here, the dairy meal here, the molasses here, it will take what is palatable. And what is palatable is the kaunga. So what will happen next? Luminous stack. Because kaunga is just like meat. You cannot eat meat alone and expect to get proper digestion. Okay? So you have to give that animal something, that something is the laffage, which is a filler material for fiber purposes, and make that animal digest. Remember, animals don't digest through anything else. It is temporarily stalling, softening, then the longitudinal groove vibrate, okay? Then it regurgitates again and take back. Then it receives the nutrients, and the nutrients are they start to get being assimilated, all right? So we have to be very careful with what we are feeding our animal, because we don't want to load our animal. We don't want our animal to be so full. Have you ever seen cows which are very full? Yeah. Even when it is sleeping, you are saying it is good. No. We want to feed our cow, it eat everything, and when I come there, I don't want to see anything. All right? It is sleeping there, because a cow makes milk, well, it is sleeping. So it is very important for you to note that. The laffage given to the animal. And on that note, there is something else, which is number 3, time of feeding. We have actually said that for animals to get proper, or for farmer to realize that animal full production potential, we have said it is genetic makeup, we have said it is management, which is 80%, then we have divided management into 2. Environment and nutrition. And in that nutrition, that is where our concentration is. Because that is where so many farmers have failed. So time of feeding is very important. If you feed your cows at 7, let it be 7. If you feed your cows at 10, let it be at 10. If you feed it at 5, let it be at that. As long as it is fed once. So that you can give your cow time to digest and assimilate everything, okay? Instead of feeding your cow so much, then we say a cow is like a factory. It is garbage in, garbage out. So if you overfeed your cow, what are you expecting? So time of feeding is very important. The other reason that makes your cow fail to produce milk is what we call underfeeding or overfeeding. Now, not so many African Can you see an African and see hunger? Have you ever seen African anywhere and you see hunger?
Yes.
Where?
Somalia.
No. It is very rare, not unless that country is not working. Now, I will explain to you. Let us start with your country. Uganda have? No. Uganda have abundance. It is known the whole world because you are geographically well placed. You don't have season. You can plant any day, any time, and you expect to harvest. So what do? Because now you have bumper harvest, you have decided to overfeed your cows. So when this mzee go home, he won't, and his workers had already fed the animals, he start quarreling. Because he have seen his animals have seen him passing. They start burrowing. And maybe those animals are telling him, thank you. Now he confused that thank you with the cows are hungry. Now he starts quarreling the workers. No, I don't want to see these feed troughs with no feed. You see now what you are doing? You will be collecting a lot of manure. You will be a farmer who is producing manure, not a farmer who is producing milk. So it is very, very bad to overfeed. Your cow should have both left and right Paraluba fossa. Have you ever seen a cow in picture? A cow in picture, it is never full. Let us use the word full.
It doesn't bulge.
Yes, it doesn't bulge. That's the word. Those cows here in Kenya, have you seen them bulged? No. But go back to your country. You are overfeeding your cows, and they are over defecating, and you are still complaining. So the other issue on that note is underfeeding. In your country, we cannot talk of underfeeding. We can talk that maybe elsewhere, like Malawi or wherever. You should not as well underfeed your cow, okay? For it to produce milk. Because you know very well, emaciation has no any significance. When it comes to milk, when it comes to meat inspection, when it comes to anything, even the quality or the status, the nutritional status of a cow or a human being, you cannot as well eat an emaciated cows. Can you eat? No. You cannot. That animal is not appealing, so we should not underfeed our cows. The other reason that makes your animal not produce milk is what we call deworming. Do you know deworming?
Yes.
And multivitamin. Now, when we come to Uganda, and if I ask you that, how many times should you deworm your cow?
4 times a year. 4 times a year.
4 times in a year, every 3 years, every 3 months?
Calves every month.
And calves every month. You see, some are light, some are long. Let us start with a mature cow. In Kenya, how do we deworm our cow? Because now we have become very integrated. And we want our milk to be free from any chemicals. Because remember, all those chemicals that we feed our animals with, be it microbial, be it those antihelminthics, antibiotics, whatever, they have residue in milk, they have residue in serum, they have residue in blood, they have residue in urine, okay? So now for us to be free, because now we have to go organic, we deworm our cows once in a year. Yes, let me explain how. Yes. And still, on that note of deworming, we also, it is very rare for us to get us anybody here using a caricide spraying. I'm spraying because of ticks. Have you seen that?
No.
Have you seen dips? No. We are very integrated. We realized that ticks and worms thrives in green leafy plants. Those green leafy plants have that water which I told you about. Okay? That water is not readily available to an animal, but that water harbors another life, like those of ticks, those of worms. Remember, even if you read the cycle of worms, animals are taking the eggs or the organisms from the glass that they are feeding on, which were dropped previously. Then it becomes into the stomach, okay, for larval stage. Now the cow becomes an intermediate host, okay? And that cycle has to be completed. And remember, when those worms are developing, they might migrate through portal veins. They go to the liver. They can rupture liver. They can go to the lungs. And some of those worms, you can even actually see your animals, maybe some have lungworms, they are unable to breathe, dyspnea, okay? And some can even be choked. You might feel that it has been choked, and it is the worms. Who is the final host of worms? Yeah? Good, human beings. And who have produced that problem? So we have to rectify that. That is why now we have encouraged our people here to do what we call zero grazing. If you have a big land, let's say more than 1 acre, actually I don't know whether you play. Do you play God? Do you tell God anything? What do you tell God with more than 1 acre?
It's enough.
What do you want God to do?
Give you more acres.
For the kids. You want to store that land for your kids?
Yes.
That's where we are going wrong. That is why our generation are getting lost. We shall even teach you why our parents are making those kids to take drugs. So if you have more than 1 acre, you should not actually play. You should be thankful to God to give you wisdom on how to manage this. So what we usually say, if we have an eighth, I should balance everything and purchase the animal feeds and purchase the laffage and purchase everything, and still I have money. If I have more than 1 acre, what I usually do, I should do what we call paddocking. Let's assume somebody have 10 acres. 10 acres is a very, very, very big land. Okay? Just 10 acres. I show you how you are developing worms instead of developing money. A simple example. 1 bale of hay, here in Kenya, it costs Kenya shillings 400 bob. So acre can produce 1,000 bales in 3 months. See, even give it 4 months. So if you say 1,000 times 3, see, it is every 4 months. Instead of times 4, let us say times 3. See, those are 3,000 bales. 1 bale is costing here 400 bob, because that is 20 kilos. 1 kilo we are buying at 20 shillings. So if you multiply that 3,000 times 400, that's how much? 1.2. 1.2 million Kenya shillings. That is in 1 year, in that 1 acre. Now, let us assume I have enough in my store and I'm still producing. What do? Because I'm wise, I don't have to rely with the local market. I will do the bale. Have you ever seen bale which is rolled this way? It is done 700 kilos. Those 700 kilos, even though they are buying at a higher price, just assume that you have sold at 20 shillings. That's around 14,000. Okay? 1 acre produced 30 bales. 30 times 15. That is 450,000 in 1 year. Okay? Not actually in 1 year. It is in 1 month. It is in 1 season, which is 4 months. Okay? Or 4 months or 3 months, depending on how you top dress. Now, if I'm able to sell that to Qatar, if I'm able to sell that to Saudi Arabia, because they are purchasing from us at a very, very competitive prices, And you are telling me you have more than 1 acre and you have let it open. And you are telling God something. What are you telling God? You see, now God will start thinking otherwise.
We are just stupid.
No, we are not stupid. Even those disciples who were with Jesus, do you think Jesus was a good man?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yes. He was,
But what?
not all of them understood him.
No. Jesus was not a good man. Jesus was a wonderful man. It's only that so many people never let that wonderfulness shed light to them. That is why you see them going to those areas. Until they ate bread, that is when they realized, oh, we are with him. That's how now we are. We don't see our potential as Ugandans. Why do I keep on insisting Uganda? Because of 2 reasons. And I've repeated here again. If Uganda realize who they are, oh my good God, you will be having a lot of money. But now because you are sleeping, you don't believe in yourself, you don't trust in yourself, you don't support one of your own. What else do you expect? Now Burkina Faso is taking over you. And we have a guy from Uganda who is interpreting. So they are coming here, we educate them, and they take that there, and they are educating themselves. Anyway, let's forget about that one. So we are talking of deworming and multivitamin. So why we deworm our animals once in a year, it is simply because we are feeding that cow on dry matter, okay? So that dry matter cannot be able to harbor the worms, to harbor the worms, okay? The same case with ticks. That dry matter, when you have a pickup which is being loaded with green leafy parts and you are taking that feed to your farm, expect some ticks. So tomorrow you will have tick-borne diseases. Okay? So here we are done with them. Finally, those ticks can be able to survive in those soils for 5 decades. 5 decades is 50 years. That is why we decided to till our land. If we till our land, we are now able to break the cycle of worms. We are now able to break the cycle of ticks. That's why we don't do them. The other thing is multivitamins. Multivitamins. And when do we actually deworm our cow? We deworm our cow the first 10 days when it gives birth. Are you getting that properly? Now we are talking here of a mature cow. We shall tell you how you should deworm a calf and how you should deworm a bulling heifer and such, or a bull, okay? But for a mature cow, we should feed that cow the first 10 days immediately it gives birth. On that note, we usually administer what we call multivitamins. Multivitamins are supplements with both macro and micro elements which are not readily available or which are oxidized. Like for example, if we cut our napier grass and leave it to the direct sunlight, because of those ultraburns, vitamin A is highly oxidized, but it can easily be replaced. That is why even if you take, and he is a vet, he knows that very well, even if you take a multivitamin, you see it have different vitamins inside it with different international units. Vitamin A, B, U, vitamin D3, you get those for palatability and such. So you actually see we feed that cow, we always supplement what was highly oxidized. So vitamins depend. So in most cases what we usually do, when that cow gives birth, we usually give the B complex, okay? When that cow, we have served that cow. For example, let us say your cow came on heat and you called a vet and I came to inseminate your cow. The success of an AI, it is only done by 2 people. The cow have already shown you that it is on heat. Have it not shown you? Yes. It have already shown you. I'm on heat, I need some help. Now you call a vet, your cow started to mount on others in the morning. Oh,
Right.
which cow is on heat?
Could be both.
Both brew. Cow brew.
Yeah.
That is why you can inseminate your cows more than one time. Here in Kenya, we don't take chances. A cow communicates only through what we call phlegm, the smell. Now, a human cannot understand phlegm. Phlegm is communication within animals. Now, this cow brew is on heat. Okay? I have not said it is on heat. This cow brew is mounting on cow red. Okay? This cow red is most likely, or 90% chances, it is the one on heat. So you give a cow which doesn't want it. How? Let me explain you how. Let me explain you how so that you can understand. Because these cows are not talking. Cow red tells cow brew, please help me, because our farmer doesn't understand our language. Of course they communicate. Now I act like a bull. So cow brew is acting like a bull. And this one is standing to be mounted. That one which is standing to be mounted is the one which is on heat. But now, because of misdiagnosis, and your worker, you have not trained them. That is why when we employ a Ugandan, we must educate him first to understand, because we don't want that confusion. If he see a cow brew mounting on this, he will come and tie this.
Which is wrong.
Which is very wrong. When a vet comes, let us assume a vet is a madman also. Remember, a vet is not a magician man. He is a medicine man, okay? He gives medicine and God heals.
Yes.
Let's assume a vet took 1, 2, 3 for the road, and you called him very fast. Oh, make sure you come. My cow is on heat. I saw it mounting on others. I've actually assumed that vet was mad. And he come. Which cow is on heat? That one. Then from the flask, going, hip, what have you done? Zero work. So that is why we usually say, let us be very careful when our cows are on heat. We actually know which cow is on heat. If our cow started to mount in the morning, at what time should we serve our cow? 12 hours from.
From the first sign of it.
Yeah, 12 hours. That is very wrong.
That one said.
Huh?
Maybe 6 hours.
No. If you serve it at 6 hours, even if it receives that, maybe you used a convectional semen. Convectional semen is one which is not predetermined. It can get a boy or a girl. Remember, men are the one who determines sex. But they complain that women are not giving birth to boys. So what do? If you are giving a convectional semen and you give it too early, it might conceive and get a bull. You should wait for 18 to 22 hours. 18 to 22 hours. That is the standing heat of that cow. And it will conceive. And the moment we inseminate that cow, we come and inject what we call vitamin A. Vitamin A enhances conception. Are you getting that? Are we together?
Come again. Vitamin A.
Vitamin A enhance conception. Enhance. Or makes it easy. Enhance. It makes it easy for conception to be, or the chances of conception are high. You get that?
Administer after serving or
Yes, after serving.
Immediately you serve a cow, there is a procedure. You cannot come serve the cow and go. How? It cannot conceive. The chances are you might repeat. And here in Kenya, because now we are giving predetermined sex, we take cautions. And we have already prepared that animal. Okay? The other thing, when you can as well give what we call multivitamins, are we together? I will give you time to ask questions. Don't worry.
Come on. Let's hear.
I'll just prepare all the questions. So, the other time you can give your cow multivitamin, it is when it is pregnant. Have you ever seen our ladies when they are pregnant at around 4, 5, 6 months? Have you ever seen them? Have you ever seen them? Eh, they don't see you. How? She is not getting the question. Anyway, I'm asking, when our ladies are at 4, 5, 6 months pregnant, they go to clinic, isn't it? And the moment they go to clinic, they are told by a doctor, take these red medicines. Have you ever been given those? Plus something else. Iron plus something else. No sick and such. They are actually being given the multivitamins, the B complex. And they are forced to swallow them while they are still there. Why? Because now they fear or they hate medicines, they start complaining. Why is this doctor or doctor telling me to take these medicines? Yet I'm not sick. That B complex which you are forced to take, it is to bring a proper balance of nutrition. Remember, the calf or the child inside you is being fed by the mother through umbilical cord. And that child do all functions that we do, like they urinate, they defecate. Yes. 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 Let me give you a proper explanation with a calf. With a calf, when it urinate, that urine becomes part of amniotic fluid. When it goes to the toilet or when it defecates, because a cow actually have one stomach with 4 compartments. The last 2 compartments are actually closed with that dung. That is why you see a cow giving birth and the first feces that calf is doing, it's like human. Have you ever seen that? It is trying to produce do away with what we call meconium. So what happens, it was defecating, but that defecation was going back to the large intestine and cecum, up to the cecum, okay? So it had closed up to that level. Because if it goes beyond there, it can start being assimilated. So they usually do that. When you are being given that, you are being given a proper balance. Proper balance of what? Nutrition. So if you see a cow which is so fat, or if you see a woman who is very fat and she is pregnant, most likely the katoto, the child inside, is very tiny. If you see a woman or a cow which is very thin and it is pregnant, you should be very worried. Why? That toto inside is bringing a lot of unhealthy balance. That toto must be very big. That is why they are being given vitamin B to regulate proper balance. B6 such, okay? So we are off the vitamins. We go to the other one. Are we together? The other reason that make your animal fail to produce milk is what we call milk frequency. How many times do you milk your cow? In Uganda, how many times are you milking your cows? Twice per day. So Uganda has not moved to the current trend in the world. This world is it's a small village. We are calling it a digital village because you can connect to anyone, anywhere in the world. Now, other countries are milking their cows at least 6 times per day, every 4 hours. Other countries are milking 5 times. Yeah? A cow. Milking a cow milk. Like, let me give you a practical example. The highest cow in the world is producing how many liters?
109.
He is trying. It is 131. And it is in Brazil, an animal called Girirando. Zimbabwe, they had cows which are producing 105. Saudi Arabia is having cows which are doing 110, 120, but Brazil has taken over. Okay? So those cows cannot be milked twice, not unless you want them to fall or to die because of mastitis, calcium lockup, such things, okay? So the more times you milk, the better. The other reason, on that note of frequency of milking, another of a cow, we can give it an analogy, or we can compare that with two things. Have you ever gone to any toilet which is being flushed? Public toilet. Let us use the word public toilet. It has something called cistern. Have you ever seen that? The moment you do your science there, or the moment you do your reflex action there, yes, if you flush before you open the door, that cistern is full again, waiting for the next customer. Have you ever noted that?
Yes.
Meaning this cistern cannot hold more than that water which is being flushed. Okay? Now, this cistern, if you fail to flush this water, there will be no time that it will fill until it is forcing itself to get out. The same case with a cow. The udder of a cow, if we are giving that cow max, when we are judging the cow, we give it 40%. Out of 100, we give 40% to the udder. Why? It is the only carrying capacity that can be emptied several times. Let's assume you are milking your cow how many liters per, the highest milk that you have ever milked your cow once is how many liters? 9. 9 times 3 is? 27. Have you ever milked your cow 27 liters?
At once?
No, the whole day? Good. Those are good cows. It's only that, maybe some small anomalies. Those cows which you are seeing here producing that 30, 40, 50 liters are the same cows that you have at home. Yes, I will tell you how when we come to breed. So, the other thing that we can as well compare our udder or another of a cow is what we call shallow well. Do you know those people who dig down to get water? Let us assume you dig how many feet? 20. Oh my good God. 20, 50, 100. Okay, let's assume on average, let's say 50. Okay? If we are able to dig a shallow well here and we get 50 feet, and out of that shallow well, we come and get a drum of water, a drum of water, a drum of water. My neighbor is doing 10 drums. I'm doing 1 drum in a day. And of course, my neighbor is not doing 10 drums at once. He is doing at different intervals, isn't it? Those different intervals, he is doing that water. At the end of the day, I'm losing 9 drums, isn't it? There will be no time that water will come, climb, and get up to here so that I can take that water with a cup. Will there be such a time? No. Never. Where does that water go? That water is still inside the hole, making the hole very rich. So that hole, you can be taking 1 drum in a year or in a day for the whole year without being drained. But maybe my neighbor, because he is taking a lot of water from his well, there will be a time he will have little water. What shall he do? He will come and do and desilt or do the mud from deep down so that much more water can come in. You get? So the more you milk your animal, you get a lot of milk. Plus, because the somatic cells inside the udder, you are emptying them well. When you give your animal what we call sex rest. Okay, sex rest. And let me explain to you. 1 year has how many days?
365.
365 days. We should milk our cows for how many days in a year? 305 days. So 60 days are the stemming period. Because if our cow give birth today, in 45, 75 up to the 90th day, we should have served our animal again. So if we had milked her for the last 3 months or 75 days, then from that day, we count 7 months. We are milking our cows, okay? Until it is pregnant. We want now to dry her. That drying her and giving her time to recover the somatic cells, the ones which are worn out, and building up the reserves. That is what we call the sex rest, because it is now doing only one work: reproduction and rebuilding itself, and giving us another longevity of 305 days. So the more you milk, the much you get, and the much you don't have problems of mastitis and such. All right? Okay. Another reason that make our animals not produce milk is what we call water. A human doctor tells you to take how many glasses of water? 2 liters of water. Our body, if we are being told to account, 72% is water, 13% is soil. That is why we go back there, we are built by it, and when we go the other side of the town, we shall be consumed by it. Other issue, soil, muchanga. Other part is what we call cells. The same case with a cow. For that cow to produce milk, if you milk your cow 10 liters once, what you are doing, you are milking your cow 9 liters of water, 1 liter of milk. If you are milking 10 liters. If you are milking your cow 5 liters, you are milking your cow 4 1/4 water, quarter milk. If you are milking your cow 2 1/2 liters of milk per milking, you are doing 2 1/4 water, that quarter milk. Now tell me, let us assume you are milking your cow below that. What are you milking your cow? No, you are milking that cow blood. That is why we usually say milk. Milk is inverse of water, and milk is a dead salt. Because if we see any blood in that milk, we start getting suspicious. Suspicious of what? Zoonotic diseases. Zoonotic diseases like what? Leptospirosis. You get? The blood tinged. Because this milk is already sick. Milk should be creamy white, not red. You get? You either have pulled so much instead of squeezing and block the capillaries. That is a cause of alarm. So if you don't milk your cows frequently, what happens? The milk was full in 6 hours. The milk was full in 8 hours. And you have gone beyond 8 hours. The cows start resuctioning back the milk to the system. So what happens? When it is suctioned back, the valves, the sphincters, start breaking. That is when you see mastitis, which is pyemic. That bacteria is already in the blood. It is uncontrollable. So not unless we treat that mastitis through the milk veins, it cannot heal easily. So water is inverse of milk, and water is very important. Why does your cow fail to consume water? Because you are giving your cow succulent food. So it is trying to do away with water which is inside the plant for it to take normal water. Because water doesn't go to any digestion process. If you take water, water goes straight to assimilation. If you take beer, why women complain so much that men like beer? Because beer does not go any digestion process. Okay? You drink beer, you get drunk, the vasopressins relax. Okay? You go to the other world. So the same case to cows. It is not bad. So, but in moderation. So water is very important. The other reason,
How much water?
in a day, a normal cow should not take less than 100 to 200 liters. Yes, let me tell you how.
Not less than.
Not less than 100 liters. Not less than 100 liters. Si ni mitungi tano. How? Inside the first stomach of a cow is called lumen. Lumen has 90 to 120 liters of water, depending with the how big that pouch is. Okay? We go to the second stomach of a cow, which 90 to 120. Yes, that is science. You can even Google, you see. It is practical. Because if you take 5 men or 10 men, each who are weighing 100 kilos, can they be able to take a cow this way? Because all of them 10 times 100, that is 1,000. Can they take that cow up? They cannot. Why? Cow is very heavy. What is making it heavy? Those water in the small intestine, and that water in the pouch or the first stomach. Look at the reticulum, which looks like honeycomb. Its work is to separate that water plus the nutrients. Okay, it takes that to the omasum. It is the pile. It's like a book. It's like a ball. It is now dehydrating that water and taking those contents to the abomasum, where digestion starts or assimilation starts. If that thing is off abomasum to the small intestine, it has a lot of water. You see the small intestine, the way they are coiled all over the body. And that is why you see, if we overfeed our cows, we encourage diseases like obstruction, bloat, you get torsion, if a cow fall and the stomach twist, you get. That's why we are discouraging overfeeding. So water is very important. The other reason, and we are almost to be done because now we are number 8. The other reason that is making our animals not produce milk is what we call mineral salts, chumvi. Now, those mineral salt, chumvi, when our ladies are cooking, have your wife ever asked you, how much salt should I put? Why? Who? Men. They know how much to add in the food. Now, our women are the only people who are inspired by ancestors on how much salt should they put to the food. They don't measure. They actually look this way in the yard or this way in a small container and put it. Have you ever seen that? Yes. So they are the only people who are inspired by our ancestors. But they don't know. Now we are here to tell them salt is very important. And when we were eating that food yesterday, or the food that we have ate here, there is one person who have felt that this food is good, but the salt inside is too bitter. So we have heard that. Yeah. Have anyone removed that salt from the food? Too late. They have eaten. So we were forced to consume that. That is what we call forced mineral supplement. Number 2, on that note, there is somebody else who was feeling like, this food is okay, I don't need even to add salt. Okay? And we have eaten that salt. That is depending with different basal metabolic rate. And there is another person who have felt, no, this food has no salt. He have added or she have added. Because our rates are different. Okay? Our demand for salt are different. The same case with cows. Now, when a farmer is very happy, you know, farmers have become moody people. They are getting into agriculture because they have nothing else to do. In Kenya, we don't do that. In Kenya, we usually say agriculture is our way of life. It is the best and the only thing that can make you a millionaire and a billionaire very quickly without shortcuts. Okay? And it is the only venture that makes you stress-free, because we have what we call animal therapy. So when a farmer becomes moody and his or her cow give birth, and you have talked to your friend here, today you come with dairy meal and mineral salt. Have you ever seen women giving a cow salt? When it is full, they give the right amount, hands full. So there is nothing which is measured. And if she feels like adding, she add a little more. That salt in 2-3 days or in 1 week, it is ending. The same salt and the same woman, she will talk to that cow and tell that cow, you will eat this. Even she will make that karatasi, that bag, this way. And tell the cow, you have to eat that. I'm the one who buys. That is where now the problem is. Because when you are being born and brought up, you have never seen any veterinary pulling the RAB or the retained placenta. When we were young, there was nothing like that. Those old cows were not being removed placenta. Have you ever noted that? No. Number 2, those cows were not recumbent. They were not falling and being fair, or they were not unable to wake up. Have you ever seen that when you were young? No. And those wazee, they used to know, we shall take our cows to that land. That land, the soil there is leaching magnesium. Tomorrow they will take that to that land. That land there, the soil is leaching calcium. The other land, it is leaching phosphorus or whatever. So those mineral salts are consumed from the glass, although the glass had fed from the soil. Now, it is no longer done that way, because the spaces we have paddocked, the spaces we have fenced, and the land have become scarce. Isn't it? So what are we doing? We have enclosed our animals. And when we have enclosed our animals, we have to replenish. That is why now the element of getting the light and quality mineral supplement that will give your cow time, because you see, the moment you give your cow 1 cup of mineral salt, if it goes to the stomach, it will be assimilated into the bloodstream. And in the blood, that is why it will be taken to different areas. The calcium or the mineral salts in the cow are preserved in the bones. You see the bones of a cow? That is where they preserve the mineral salts. So they have to be very rich. If your blood is very okay, you will be off diseases. The same case with a cow. So what we usually say, we must give our cows the light mineral salt and in the light portions. So whatever we are doing, it has to be constant management. For us to get success, it has to be constant management. So you have to be budgeting and managing yourself either quarter in a year, that is what we call quarterly, halfway in a year, or the whole year. Because if you ask our farmers here, right now we are in 2020, let us assume there will be another corona, and God forbid. Now, and farmers are told you are not moving to any other county, and you have cows and you don't have big land. What will happen? You either sell the cows, or those cows get dead because you are not being able to feed. So what have Kenyans done? We are feeding our cows ahead of time. We have stocked enough. 2025, we count 3 years plus. So many farms that we shall send you, and let us hope the one we are looking, the best farmer in Kenya, I'm telling him to engage or accept farmers from Uganda and see. You will go and see they have preserved laffage for up to 2028. So whatever is growing or whatever we are buying, it is for 2029. Not this year, not the next 3 years, okay? So we have to be ahead of time. So mineral salt is very important. Another reason, before we come to the last one, that makes your animal not produce milk is what we call commercial concentrates. Commercial concentrates, the highest producer and supplier and seller of commercial concentrates in Africa are you people, you don't know. Uganda. Yes. Go to the archives. Go to the archives. It's only that you are sleeping giant. That's why I told you if you wake up, you will make the rest of Africans wake up. Now, the kasore comes from Uganda. Brain comes from Uganda. Porad comes from Uganda. Breadcrumbs comes from Uganda. Maize cake comes from Uganda. What else does Uganda don't have? You people nowadays, you have what we call diatomiasis ash, a very, very precious stone. You have dry molasses. You have dry yeast. Uganda, Uganda, Uganda. It should be made in Uganda by Ugandans. So buy Uganda, build you. Uganda. But now, since Ugandans have slept, let them lie. Now, so the commercial concentrates are very important. You don't have to overfeed them. You have to give them moderately. Because the dangers of giving those kasore and wheat bran and whatever in high volumes, your cow might develop what we call lumen static. If you bring a whole 70 kg bag of kasore here and put to your animals, don't sleep. We are learning something that can make you a millionaire tomorrow from Uganda. That cow will eat until, because the cow will, you see, a cow has brain like human. The only problem of a cow is interpretation. They are unable to interpret. They see black and white. So the moment you bring her that kasore, she will say, my farmer today, my boss today want me to eat all of this and produce acid. So the cow will eat a lot of kasore and broth. You see? The cow will eat a lot of unga and it has luminostatic. So the digestion is no longer functioning. The longitudinal groove is stuck. You get? So not unless you give that cow saponification, anything like Omo, those detergents, or you give that cow anything like liquid, this liquid paraffin, or you give that cow something like the cooking oil, the stomach will still be stuck. And the moment that cow is unable to digest and broth, it is unable to breathe. Why? Because broth, there is something called diaphragm. That diaphragm, if it is pushed just a little, any deviation from norm creates sickness. So your cow will develop pneumonia problems and it is in dry area, or it is not even leaning, okay? So we should be very careful. Let us give the right portion. For an average cow which is doing 30 liters, that is a cow which we are giving 8 to 10 kilos, and not more than that. If a cow is producing more than 10 liters in one milking, we should not add more than half or 0.5 kg of the commercial concentrate. So if it is doing 31, 34, 35, you might realize that this cow is taking 12 kilos. Now, the beauty of cow is one. A cow is like the new what? A cow is like a church. Let's say it's a true church. You give it what is needed, the cow gives you back what is needed. And what is needed is milk and good health. You fail to give your cow what is needed, your cow fails to give what is needed, which is milk, okay? And it is not complaining. Who is complaining here? It is the farmer. My cow is not producing milk. Yet you are not giving it in the right portions, okay? So whoever is complaining here is the farmer, and the farmer is still the same problem of that cow. And remember, cows are very good. Now that you will go back to Uganda, you will go and start feeding dry matter to your cows. Your cows will now wonder. They will talk amongst themselves. Now, now this farmer, I have not seen this farmer for the last 1 week. What was his or her whereabouts? Now, she have come with another education. So if you decide to give your cow dry matter instantly and your cow tend to test you, like let's say, if somebody gets in here and asks us, who are we? We shall say, who are we now? Really? From where? No.
You first get intimidated. I say, who is this one asking?
You see now?
Yes.
Because humans have a problem.
Yeah.
Humans, we are the first generation to bring up kids which are weaker than us. We should have brought a stronger generation than we were. But we have declined to tell them what we were taught. Wisdom is what your old grandmother knew, and she was not learned, but she perfected that. And you are learned, and you are struggling to know what she knew. You get? So, if somebody enters here and asks us, who are we? We should tell that person in very simple words. We are people created in the image of God, given power to man and command anything in this world. Now look at our farmers. You go back to Uganda and give your cow dry matter. Your cow looks at you this way. Then it gazes at you. Then it starts burrowing, telling neighbors, come and tell this farmer he is already mad. He have another education. Your neighbor, because remember they are good and bad ages. They are good and bad ages. So when I say good and bad ages, you know what I mean. There are those who are bad, and they will come to your farm and tell you, why are your cows burrowing? You start explaining to them. We went to Kenya, and we went a certain madman, and he taught us that we should feed our cows on dry matter, and we should feed once. Now that gentleman will discourage you and tell you, how? I've never heard of that. Now because now you are already confused by your cow making a lot of noises. You start getting confused because you have forgotten who you are. Then you follow that person who is a false angel. That is why you see in Africa or in the world, our people like being lied to instead of being told the hurting reality that will heal you. Okay? So concentrates are very important. Let us go to the last 10th reason that make your animal not produce milk is what we call, that one you people know, breed, yes.